Hey, Two Guys in a Buzz here. We've got a guest today.
Edwin Negron.
Yeah. Mayor.
Welcome to the show.
Thank
Good to have you. So, anything you want to say about yourself?
No, just a local Chesterton guy. Lived here my whole life, so hopefully I've got something good to contribute today.
Yeah. Sounds like we have the same history a little.
Yeah.
Well, what do you do, man?
I work for the railroad full time. Well, it's a national, local railroad here, if that makes any sense, but big company. I also have a small business, Pretzel shop in Highland.
Awesome.
So
that's cool.
Yeah.
Right, and Myers grocery store.
Now,
yeah. It's
is
like
that
the perfect flow?
Is that like a recipe, like made from scratch? Or
It's actually a franchise.
Okay.
So it's franchise. Yep. Ben Soft Pretzels. So they're local. They're kind of a local thing, Indiana. So.
How does that work? Now, does like a percentage have to go to that franchise?
Yeah, basically, like to explain it as a roundabout, just franchises how they work is you basically you're buying into a system, and a company basically opens up and they say we have a product, we want to expand this nationally, and you are paying for the product through royalties. You're paying to use the product through royalties that are paid each week, month, however they have it set up. But you follow their system. They say, hey, do this, A, B, C, and D, and they really kind of, for lack of a better term, hold your hand kind of through the process and guide you. And you pay out your royalty every so often and every week or month, and you kind of build your own business. The point of a franchise is to do multiple stores and things like that.
Right.
So, but that's
they're giving you the step-by-step guide of how to run it, and then your job to make money.
Yes, exactly. So obviously the more money you make, the more money they make.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they want you to be successful. They want you to open up 2, 3 of these things, right?
Absolutely. I think they probably want 100. No, but they do. They every franchise wants you to be a multiple store owner, and it just makes sense.
Right.
It does, you'd rather, as from a company standpoint, I would rather deal with one person that owns, 3 or 4 or 5 stores versus 5 people that own 5 stores.
Right.
So, but
easier on their part.
Yeah, absolutely.
Edwin sold us this house.
Yes.
Oh, really?
He's also a real estate agent. You still doing that?
Yeah, I'm still doing it. This could be my last year doing it. I've just been busy. Working a full-time job and selling pretzels and
selling houses and building railroads. Right. Busy son of a bitch.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So I got a couple rentals in there too.
Yeah, he does rentals. He got a couple rentals he does as well.
Yeah, so I got my hand in everything. So
the rental property alone is a fucking headache by itself on top of everything else you do.
It really is. That's where I was at right before here, was getting lease signed and everything, everything cleaned up and little repairs, done. And so it's can be exhausting sometimes, but we have a good crew at my pretzel shop, so
it's good. You don't have to be there all the time?
No, I don't.
That's cool.
We have good management, and really all my employees are great, so I don't have a whole lot of concern there. Every business, anything you do is going to have something, some sort of
thieves.
Yeah, some call it headache, something you're gonna have to deal with.
Have you had to fire somebody yet?
Yeah, I have.
Did you?
A few people.
A few people.
Younger people, or?
Yeah, younger. Younger people.
Yeah.
You guess not showing up to work?
Yeah, just not showing up, and while they're there, just not following, our procedures, so. Just kind of the normal thing that people get fired for. Nothing. We haven't had any horrible, things happen, which is good.
Right.
So everything has always went well, as well as it
so
could.
far.
Yeah,
we've been open for almost a year now, or a year?
No, it actually has only been 6 months.
Oh wow,
that's
over
6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's doing good. It's busy, you know. So.
Well, I guess because they say when you open up your own business, it's like after that 5-year marker that you can actually start making money.
Right.
But I guess for you, it doesn't really work that way because it's a franchise, right? So
that is the point of the and that's kind of the bonus. Is a franchise. You know, my franchise isn't really a huge franchise yet. I believe that it will be one day, but obviously it takes time. The easiest franchise to talk about is probably McDonald's or something, because everybody knows that.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the point, is when you is to have that recognition. You know, people walk past and they see a Subway, they know what they can get. They know it's there, they know how it tastes. There's no really guessing about it.
Now you can think of Jared.
Oh,
right, yeah.
No Subway for me, thank you.
Right. Yeah, they got hooked in quick. Yeah, that's kind of the point of, you know, a franchise.
Yeah.
So that is the bonus of being with a franchise, is you of course have to build your business, but at the same time, right out of the gate, you can expect business because people know
who you are.
Yeah. You just have to let them know that you're there.
Yeah.
They already know the product, as long as it's like a big, you know, and luckily in Northwest Indiana, there's been people working different kind of pretzel shops and stands and things like that for years here. So
now, are there like franchise managers or like district managers that come and check what you're doing, or how?
They're, like the corporate, they have work, you know, their employees, their management, their staff that comes out and checks, make sure that we're doing everything properly, and if we're not, you know, it's just a simple correction. You know,
you can't tell me shit.
Yeah. No, it's we
is it more just like precautions, like safety and whatever?
You basically want to mimic you should know what you're getting. You know, just like you know, like you're going to McDonald's and you go get a double cheeseburger there, you want to make sure that double cheeseburger is going to taste the exact same there as it does the one down the street, as it does the one in Arizona, in Florida. You know what I mean? So
yeah, keep up to their standards.
Yeah, you just want to they want to make sure that you're serving their product,
right?
You know, because if you change it, it's no longer their product and it's something different. And
you're selling corn dogs or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on,
yeah, exactly.
We ran out of pretzels.
Right. Yeah. So that's kind of.
What's the name of it again?
Ben Soft Pretzels.
Ben Soft Pretzels.
It's in Myers and.
Yep, Meyer and Highland.
In Highland, cool.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I went there once and got some pretzels, and there was a huge ass line.
Really?
Well, it's just perfect. It's right behind the counters, right behind the cashiers. So as soon as you get all your groceries,
you go ahead. Right where all those other stores would be. Okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
As soon as you get your food, you go ahead and stop and get yourself a little pretzel.
And that's the best thing too. That's why they put all that junk food and everything right there by the checkout. Because after you're done shopping, you know, you feel
You've been there for an hour or so, you might be a little hungry.
Right.
Something,
Yeah, it's a good spot.
It's a really good spot.
Yeah, hopefully it pans out.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Some milkshakes too, or something.
Right. Yeah, we thought about it.
We'll feed your bread and sugar over here.
It's all doped up. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. Well, fuck, man, my duplex people just moved out. I don't know if you heard, we talked about it on the earlier podcast, but the 8 people that have been there for 8 years moved out. Dude, nicotine, just brown ass walls.
Right.
What you got a horror story for someone moving out of
I
that?
do. I've actually had that same thing happen to me.
Had to call painters come in.
Oh yeah, they had to use an oil-based paint. Oil-based paint will take care of nicotine. You gotta wipe the walls down, like just hot soapy water.
Okay.
And then use an oil-based paint. The nicotine will actually soak through the latex paint.
Yeah.
But an oil-based paint will keep it, back.
You need a lead-based paint. Something Superman can't see through.
That's right.
So that'll take care of it. Yeah, I've had
hoarders or anything like that.
I would say no on the hoarders thing.
That shit scares me.
So you didn't have to rent like any dumpsters to like get shit out?
I'm the guy who like piles all the stuff up like by the trash cans.
Yeah.
There's like a full-size couch like in the trash can. Like I refuse to pay for a dumpster.
I hear you.
But yeah, I've had people, I guess, just torn up carpet and year-old carpet that's just completely torn up
Because of pets, or
just pets
are the
and
worst.
and they don't control their kids up to a certain extent, and just let them do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Pets are the worst, broken doors, door jams, broken windows. And when I say broken windows, I'm not talking like a cracked window.
like accident,
Blown out
like that
window.
threw the ball too hard inside.
Like the frame of the window.
Oh.
Maybe Jason was inside the house.
Yeah.
They had to jump out
Jump
the
out the
window.
window.
That was a what if from last episode.
Things like that. This I would say utility bills. I own rentals in Chesterton, so Chesterton requires you to pay the sewer bill, and they just do not cut the water off fast enough. They will let people have an outstanding water bill for 3-4 months, and the sewer bill.
Is that because they can only now take you to collections after it hits a certain amount? Is that why they let it ride out?
I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think the reason why is because they know that the landlords are responsible for the sewer bill.
Yeah.
And so they just don't care.
And either way, they're getting paid.
They're going to get their money.
Right.
That's why a lot in Chesterton, at least I know here, that the landlords take care of the trash and sewer because they don't even want that bill to come onto them when they least expect it.
Right.
I have my people pay it, but I always know when they move out, I'm going to have a bill to pay. Because they're not going to pay that last bill.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Let alone the last maybe couple
Now,
bills.
say, does that affect you, like credit-wise, or anything like on your record?
They say they could put a lien on your house. It doesn't really affect your credit, but I went to the courthouse and asked them about it, and they said something about how it doesn't really put a lien on your house.
No?
No, but the bill's not, it's like, if you don't pay it for like a month, like a 2 billing cycle, it's like a couple $100, $100 some bucks.
The margins in real estate at my level, like what level I own at, I'm not a rich guy that is buying real estate cash,
Right.
So I have mortgages and things like that to pay for, and so the margins are really small.
Right.
For the profit.
But say you got
Yeah,
3-4 renting properties, and they all do that. Now you're looking at like $800,000.
Oh
Right.
yeah, it gets expensive.
Yeah. Just recently I had 4 tenants move out all at once.
God.
Wow.
Yeah. And so.
Oh, within what, a month or two?
And you got to turn around and try and prep
within the same
all
month.
those for new
Within
renters.
30 days.
Oh my
Holy
God.
cow.
I thought I had it bad with this place. They moved out, both sides moved out in 2 months. And I was like, this is too much. 4 people. God, man.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I've been there. I had 4.
Now, do you have renters that try to use their security deposit as last month's rent? Because I heard that's illegal, and that they're supposed to actually pay
They are.
month's
When
rent.
you sign a lease, if you have a lease, the lease is for the 12. Let's say we have a year lease. The lease is for the whole amount. So if you just for round numbers, you charge $500 a month, 12 months, so $6,000 a year. They are at the end of the 12 months, they have to pay $6,000.
Right.
That's how much they should have to you. And if they don't, whether they leave after 6 months or they leave, after 10 months, whatever is left, they owe you because they're leasing the property the entire time. Collecting that from people is
Not easy.
not easy, and it's borderline not even worth pursuing.
Right, that's why they made all them court shows.
Right. Yeah.
I've always been happy with just get out. Just get out. Don't fuck up the property anymore or anything. Just get out. I'll cut you clear.
Right.
Just because fighting for it, like you said, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah. I've been lucky. I've had some really good tenants. At the same time, I've had some really bad ones too. It's just like I honestly feel that you can do what you can to find a good one.
Yeah.
You know, while they're not in there, do as many checks as you can, and then outside of that.
And what do you mean by that? Like just like
credit checks.
Yeah, like credit checks, and just
like judge a character, pretty much.
Yeah, judge of character. You know, judging character.
What kind of information
because you can
can
also
a landlord like
you can
search for?
You can access credit.
Call their ex-landlords, call their jobs.
Yeah.
You make them fill out this whole application. You know the process of filling out the application.
Oh yeah.
So you can do all these checks on these people.
Okay.
But when it comes down to it, you don't know this person's character, right? You could be having the same job for the past 12 years, always showed up on time.
Right.
You know, credit's not so bad, whatever else, but he's got a gambling habit. You have no idea. And he got to spend his money somewhere else and pays you last or at all.
Yeah,
you sound like a good guy, Jeffrey Dahmer. Come on here, not shit.
Yeah, the best, the ones that I always tell everybody, like, I've had some friends that want to get involved, you know, they're like, I want to get a duplex, I want to get a rental.
Hey, tell them to buy mine. I'll sell them mine.
Yeah, no.
I think they can have it.
I always tell them, you know, so they get a place. You know, they buy a place, and so they're here, they're ready for their first tenant. They got a first showing.
Yeah.
And I did this exact same thing. Okay, so I'm speaking from experience. So they show up, the tenant, the person who's coming to look at it shows up, and they said they walked through real fast, and they said, "No, this is nice. This place is nice. How much is it again? Oh yeah, the rent's $500 a month. $500 security deposit. Okay, so $1,000 to move in. Yeah. Well, here it is right here. Here's cash. I got it for you. I'm ready to go." Yeah. And to the new person, it's like, yes,
you're in. Take your hand.
Here, just sign this lease. Like, see you later.
Yeah.
You know, like you're done. And so I was, you know, I did that. You know, I was like, oh yeah, like this is awesome. You know, like I went home and I was like so proud. Like the first month's rent, like I put it on the dresser and like took a picture. I'm like, first month's rent I've ever collected like in my life. You know? Hopefully there's a lot more. Those people lasted 3 months.
Yeah.
And then I had to boot them. That was, and this is what I tell everybody, that cash that they have is all they have.
Right.
They just got that money from somewhere.
Checking the cash.
Yeah. Whether they just got paid for doing something, or that's all the money they have. Right. Usually when they have it with them like that, that's because that's all they got. So I've learned from that like tenfold. It doesn't mean that I won't ever get, you know, stumped again.
Yeah. Right.
But you just try to limit it. Just do what you can to limit your losses, and you know, try and do the best you can to stay afloat. Yeah. Because that's what a lot of people that are in rentals are doing until they're paid off.
Right.
Yeah. So
totally. It's terrible. God.
It
can be great. It can be great, especially some people that like they do it well. Where like I know a guy at work where he's buying these houses, but he's buying them out like East Chicago and Whiting and stuff.
So they're cheaper?
They're way cheaper. So the first one he took a loan out. The second one he was able to buy cash. But he's spending maybe $40,000 on his house, and then fixing them up, and then renting them out Section 8.
Right.
So you're getting your money from the government.
Right.
These people that want to apply for Section 8 have to keep up a certain standard to stay on Section 8. So that works out pretty well. It doesn't mean they don't still fuck up your house.
Oh, no.
But, you know, those houses out there aren't selling. The only reason you buy them is because they're cheap and they're good rental properties.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But that's one way of doing it. You know,
right.
That's a way of making some money off of them.
Being paid, so that's probably a better tax write-off too, right? Because
you're
actually working with the government to help.
I think the tax write-off's just the same. Yeah.
It's just an income.
It's just a government program to help out people to have homes.
Okay, I gotcha.
Right.
Yeah. Because some people, you know, do charity work and then you just like turn that, like we talked about before, the rich people, they're like, yeah, I gave $1.5 million to this charity, and it's like, yeah, you're just going to write that off on taxes.
Yeah, right.
You know?
Now duplexes and rental property it's a nice tax write-off.
I'm sure if you got plenty of them.
Yeah,
too,
like this home here that I'm at, there's not much tax write-off to have on your personal home. Unless you're putting in like energy efficient windows and shit like that. Right. But your rental property, everything that you do to that thing is a freaking write-off. Save all your receipts for that day, and you turn it in for a write-off.
Yeah.
But
Have you ever been audited?
No. I claim, like I'm supposed to, so I have money.
Dude, I know some people, man,
Yeah.
that just $30,000 spent on their rental property. Dude, there's no way you're gonna find receipts for that.
Yeah.
For years doing that, it's like you're crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never played that game before. It's just not worth it.
Yeah, I'm sure it's tempting though.
Dude, oh, I'm sure it's easy. The one guy says he gets like $15,000 to $20,000 in his tax returns.
Yeah.
And it's tempting to get that kind of money,
Yeah.
but when the IRS comes after you and freezes all your accounts, fuck,
Yeah.
I don't know, and then you owe them money.
Right.
Yeah,
Because you've been
looking at
stealing from the
serious
government
time,
for a long
like a federal
time.
prison.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck me in the ass. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Superman 4 or Superman 3.
Yeah, for me, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
I've always, if you go to get loans to get more properties, they look at that. They want to know, like, your W-2 from last year. Are you profitable with rental properties? And if you're not, then, why would they want to give you a loan
Right.
to get more?
Right.
So, when you pay taxes on your money, you're essentially showing that you can do this.
Yeah.
That you can run this, like, quote unquote business, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
So I guess there is a bonus if that's the route you want to go. I know some people who may have one or two and they're like, I don't want any more, like,
Right here.
they're...
Are you like Will, like a master of all trade, pretty much? Are you like, if there's something going on, like you don't need to call someone?
Yeah,
spend the
sometimes.
money, you just
Well,
go
it doesn't.
there?
It doesn't matter. Like if I don't have the cash to have it fixed by somebody else, if there's an electrical problem, put my electrical hat on. If it's
Right.
plumbing,
Yeah.
my
Man,
plumber,
many heads.
pull the crack out a little bit. The plumber's crack.
Yeah, that's how I always picture like the stereotypical landlord, like the guy in the white tank top,
Right.
has some stains, hair coming out everywhere, maybe a stogie. You're a month behind.
Right.
Where's my rent? The tenant just shuts the door.
Yeah. And there's a lot
Climbing
of
through
people
the window
out
to
there.
avoid
Yeah,
it. Down the fire escape.
Yeah.
Mr. Robinson's neighborhood, that Eddie Murphy skit on SNL.
Oh,
like
yeah.
Mr. Rogers. It's like, that's the landlord. He's like already out the window. He's like, till next time, kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's I don't know. I'm gonna focus on the small business.
That's the best bet, dude.
That's cool.
So
Oh, how exciting.
yeah. A lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, entrepreneur.
You still training jujutsu?
Yeah. So
Jiu-jitsu too?
Yeah.
Whoa! How many heads you got on?
Yeah, there's a lot there. Yep, still doing that.
Yeah, you're doing that over in Valpo, right?
Yep, Valpo.
The story, New York.
What?
Bathroom?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, right.
Yeah. You want to share that? or-
Yes, yeah, sure. I had to, if you've ever been to New York City, there's a lot of places to eat and things like that, obviously. But not everywhere has bathrooms. It actually can be kind of tough to find somewhere to go to the bathroom.
Really?
Yeah, it's just, unless you're eating there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they don't-
We had a hunt for a Starbucks to
Hundreds
find
of thousands of people walking down the streets and
Just
I'm sure-
peeing.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of them have to.
Oh, and there's no alleys.
Right.
So you can't really sneak into an alley and pee, huh?
Right.
You say, wow.
Yeah, exactly. So me and my wife, she was a girlfriend at the time. We are walking down the street. I'm like, I have to go to the bathroom. We got to find somewhere to go. And there's hundreds of thousands of people walking around you. You can't just stop and go somewhere. So there was a mall. This mall, we went completely out of the way. Found it on my phone. Like, okay, they have public restrooms there. So I walk into the mall. I sit. We look around for the bathrooms. It's like 4 floors up.
Jesus
wow.
Christ, the
Yeah.
farthest point.
Yeah, it was
I'm
like
gonna make it as difficult
Right.
as possible.
So we get up there and I walk into the bathroom. There's 2 guys just standing there in the bathroom, not doing anything, just standing there. And so I walked in. I was like, okay. So I went into a stall, and I'm using the restroom, and I turn behind me, and I can see them like looking in between, like they're standing back away from the door, but I can see them like looking through the mirror at me. And one guy was standing all the way at the end, and he was looking at the other guy. And at that point, I was like, what's going on right now? Like, why are these guys? They're not doing anything. They're not washing their hands. When I walked in, I knew something was. Right. But I didn't think anything of it.
Yeah. Right. You got pissed.
Yeah,
right. Yeah. So I wrapped it up there, in the stall, and I was like, I gotta get out of here, Yeah. And I opened the door, and one of the bigger guys started walking towards me, and I just ran straight out the door.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to take, any chances. My wife was right outside the door, and so I said, let's walk this way. So we walk, and I'm like, we'll stand right here and wait. We waited maybe 3 or 5 minutes, and those guys didn't leave.
No, still just sitting in there?
Still sitting in there by themselves. No one else was in there.
Right.
And then at the same time, they both walked out, got in the elevator, and left.
Yeah.
So I could have been just paranoid.
Right.
I could have been completely paranoid.
Yeah, they were probably waiting to jack something.
Yeah, they could have.
Move.
I mean, stuff like
You
that.
don't like hanging out in the bathroom. You don't hang out in the bathroom.
You don't.
For no reason.
No. In a J.C. Penney. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One of the guys is a pretty small guy, but the other guy was a very large man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. He was probably about 6'4", 6'5".
Wow.
He was probably pushing 300 pounds.
Dang, that's big. Dude.
Holy
He
cow.
was. So he was a huge guy.
So they didn't try to hook you up or grab you
No.
or anything? You just
No.
zigzag
I
right
did.
through them?
I was like, I'm out of here. Yeah, I didn't want to stick around and wait and see what was gonna happen. So, like I said, I could have been 100% paranoid.
Right. You could have ran out of there, and the other guys would be like, "What the fuck was his problem?"
Right, but I feel like humans aren't normally wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
That.
Especially that first instinct when something feels off, that, it's telling you something.
Yeah, it's not even me. I'm not saying that I have instincts. I'm just humans in general seem to have instincts.
And that's where
mine were flying all over the place.
Science has been trying to prove that maybe we do have some kind of ESP where we know when something is off, or even when girls become really good friends, all of a sudden their cycles are the same. They menstruate at the same time, and they almost become unified. And
even in workplaces and shit, all the women in the workplace, if they're there all the time, will start getting on the same side.
Right, or even taking a test and you put that first answer, then you're and you second guess it, and that first answer was right. It's
wasn't that that's gut instinct, right?
Yeah,
and
but
science has kind of been
gut
moving
instinct is saying that there's actually another brain inside of our stomach.
But that's what they're saying. They're proving is
and,
that there's
and
a direct
that's actually
link
it's
from your gut to your fucking brain.
Mm-hmm. And that's why maybe Parkinson's, the memory, Alzheimer's, maybe all of this spawns from what we're putting actually into our stomach.
Okay.
And there's an Indian, actually from India, Indian doctor who's been doing a lot of research in it. Unfortunately, we don't do much research here. But
on what you're eating?
On this
that
whole,
because
there's a whole nerve system,
right?
And not neurons in your brain, but there is this energy field almost inside your intestines too that's just firing off and sending messages. And so if you are what you eat,
right.
And you're putting potato chips in your body every day or whatever else, then your body's actually not getting. Your stomach, your second brain is what they call it, is not getting what it should. And that's maybe where all these diseases spawn from initially is diet.
Yeah.
All comes down to diet again.
I can see that.
Yeah, definitely.
But that gut instinct is cool because second brain, maybe we do have a sense of, maybe it's not telepathic powers, but we do know, probably through years of evolution that if we're walking somewhere and we think that there's a predator out there, I'm sure those same kind of things come in when we walk and we see two people standing there weirdly, the same kind of evolutional instincts kick up.
Right.
Yeah, these guys are predators.
Yeah.
It's
And especially you're looking and you're seeing a guy like you look in the mirror. I would have been spooked. I would probably just been like, here's my wallet, here's my phone.
I'm gonna go ahead and take this piss.
Yeah.
Leave me alone now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much how, I felt I was like, I don't know what's going to happen right now, over the next few minutes.
It takes courage.
Yeah.
Even to run out like that, it takes courage. Because, like we talked about before, there's the fight or flight. There's also the freeze. A lot of people just lock up.
Right.
And they don't know how to react.
Yeah.
Especially when stuff like that is happening, or something like the car crash or whatever else, I've seen some shit happen right before my eyes where I'm just like froze up for a second because what did I just see?
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you think of New York, man? I love that city.
Oh, I love it. I'd go back there all the time if I could. I actually worked in New Jersey for a while, in Clinton, New Jersey, when I was traveling with the railroad. So that's only like 45 minutes from New York City. So I was there like every other day.
Nice.
Yeah. Cool.
Such a fun city, man.
Yeah.
We were there. We went camping outside, 2 hours outside of New York, and spent the whole day there. Did the whole tourist thing, Statue of Liberty, all that shit. And then we went and saw Wicked. So that was so much fun. And then
that was wicked.
It was wicked, dude. That's play. That was my second time seeing that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It was a good play. Took Drew, my son, to go see that, so that was fun. But as we were leaving, it's like 9 o'clock at night, 8 o'clock, something like that. That's when we went through Times Square. It was all lit up, and there's just tons of people out there.
Right.
And now we're leaving, man. That's one thing I wished it was like we could have hung out there during the nightlife.
Yeah.
And got to enjoy New York during that time too.
Yeah.
But dude, we couldn't get a taxi to save our fucking lives, man. We got one. But it took forever.
When it's raining, it's even worse.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, we got caught like in a rainstorm, and we ended up having to walk. Just down the street. All the taxis were full.
Yeah, that's how it was for me, man.
What's more overwhelming, Chicago as a city or New York?
New York, I would say. Yeah.
New York is huge.
It's
like,
huge.
The hustle and bustle of it all. Did you
and the sheer size is fucking
it's a big apple.
Yeah, there's just a lot there. It's just a bigger city, like when you're coming into the city, it's like you just look all around and it's just so much bigger than Chicago.
Yeah.
I feel like you can walk Chicago.
Right.
Yeah, and then get away from like the immediately downtown area kind of feel. But New York, it's just, we walked all day and we just never got out of it.
Yeah. I feel like all the suburbs kind of help make up Chicago too, like all the places around
sure.
Where like I guess that kind of works with New York too, with like the Bronx and Manhattan and like Staten Island and whatever. Like there's all those areas.
Yeah, but like you drive into Chicago and you see Chicago, right? You see the big cities and stuff. When you're driving up to New York, it's literally like 3-4 times bigger. Like that skyscraper landscape. You know what I mean? It's like 3-4 times bigger than that. So I mean, it's not just like the suburbs that make it. It's the actual downtown area. It's just fucking huge. Cool. It's a fun city. It's a fun city.
Yeah,
I definitely want to go.
I love it. I'd go back right now if I could.
It's awesome.
Right now.
I've always loved the city. I hope to see more cities.
Yeah, you've never been, right?
No. I've been. I went to Maryland Death Fest, and so that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But that's as much east as I've been. Been south. I haven't gone west. I really want to go to Colorado or, Phoenix, Arizona or something like that. Just see the desert, man. Just see vast emptiness. Where we used to drop bombs because nobody cared, and then they're like, let's move people here. That's what people are always like, wouldn't it be crazy if a bomb blew up here, a nuclear bomb? It's like, we tested them here, like over 285 of them.
Yeah.
This shit's lingering all over.
Just keep drinking your water.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Just keep drinking your water.
Yeah. You want to talk about any news or?
Yeah, sure, man. The feds, man, you hear about this? The feds shut down a cartel super tunnel. It went from Tijuana, Mexico to San Diego. So that would be 2,600 feet long. And it was like supplying, you know, drugs, pot and shit.
Yeah.
And was a direct, I don't know about direct connect, but a lot of Chicagoland areas, drugs were coming from that, from that tunnel. Went down 32 to 35 feet, straight down. Longest tunnel they've ever seen, right? 12 tons of pot were caught at a value of like $6 million.
Oh, the sweetie swag.
Well, yeah. And that's like a drop in the hat for the Mexican cartels. You know that. Like 12 tons, $6 million, whatever.
Right.
They make more than that in a day. You know what I mean?
Right. Nevertheless, somebody might pay for that, though.
They caught 22 of their guys, of the cartel guys.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm sure they're not saying shit, I would imagine.
I'm sure.
Yeah, you say something, I'm sure somebody's already in prison ready to get you.
Yeah, I think they said something about it being connected to, what's that? El Chapo. Part of his cartel.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay,
because they said something about it being like the tunnel is like some of his tunnel workers that got him out of prison, that built that tunnel from that house to his prison. So, because it was the tunnel was all set up with lights and whole ventilation systems and shit.
Wow, that's
Right.
a Temple of Doom shit
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Anna Marie Hernandez was arrested, and she was the baby doll drug lord.
Okay.
And she was huge. She would be on like Instagram, social media, like taking pictures of herself, flaunting shit, you know. Drug lord in Mexico did Chicago operation. She had a coke pipeline from El Paso, Texas to Chicago. Her husband worked as the border patrol, and so these trucks would come in, and he would just let them go.
Oh wow.
And she supplied from Chicago, St. Louis, Panama City. It was traced to the Juarez cartel, which only accounts for a small portion of the total street drugs in Chicago.
Okay.
So even though they try to chalk this up as like some huge thing, they really didn't bust anything because it's a small amount.
They never do.
Just another show and tell where they can be like, we got the woman that was showing off, that was a baby doll drug lord. But they really don't end the situation of drugs, which the war on drugs is just a whole big poo-poo. Did you watch the debate at all, or that Bernie Sanders speech?
I did watch
to
it.
That college?
The headline was something about legalizing pot. And
He said it
I didn't
early.
catch
He
any
said
of
it
it.
early because it was being displayed live.
Okay.
So you had to like watch it from the get-go.
Oh.
But man, still, it's just surprising to hear someone actually just talk about real shit. Because I watched a little bit of the Republicans debate, the second one, I believe that, and it's just a joke, man. It's a mockery of what our
The GOP debates.
of what our system really should be, and how sensationalized it's been with shit that just doesn't matter. It's clutter, you know.
Right.
It's clutter. You want to build a wall to keep immigrants out. You know, we're all fucking immigrants.
Just the illegal ones though. He just wants the illegal ones out.
Speak American. Speak English. Well, did you know English is mostly made up from Greek and Latin words? So your language isn't even your fucking language, you know?
Right.
Come on. It just blows my mind. But on the other hand, here's Bernie Sanders actually talking about, you know, racism, Black Lives Matter, legalization of cannabis, and the war on drugs being a fucking quagmire.
What I love him is bringing up these fucking, how these super PACs are able to run, and the funding, and how these candidates are all basically owned by large companies. I love how he brings that up, and he fights he's big in fighting the pharmaceutical companies. That's fucking huge, man. That's fucking huge. His problem is that he's a socialist, and people hear that and they get fucking
scared. Immediately scared.
Sure.
You know, just like back in the day, it'd be a commie. You got commie affiliates.
I don't know if it's that degree, but it is.
But
it is
the
to a
same
certain
thing.
degree.
It's not like terrorism is more like that now.
Sure.
You know.
Sure.
Right.
But it's the same thing. It scares people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you know.
I don't even think that he wants to go on a full socialist nation.
You're right.
No.
I would think that he's probably shooting for having socialism values on certain
Right,
things.
totally. Cherry picking from that idea.
Right, yeah, and having, you know, the universal health care and things like that. Before I worked for the railroad, I was a mechanic, and we had insurance there without a problem. You know, it was for dental and, you know, health insurance. I think I paid for myself. At the time I was paying just for myself. I wasn't married, so it was $55 a week is what I paid, right around there. So not bad, really, for a single guy, you know, $50 a week, right around there. So if I were to get married, the guy next to me, he was paying $245 a week.
Holy shit.
Wow.
He was married and had a kid, and 2 kids.
Wow.
Married and had 2 kids, was paying $245 a week for insurance. The guy who...
A week.
Yeah.
Insurance to me alone is just crazy.
Yeah.
It's putting tons of money into the idea of what if, or something may happen. And by the time you've paid so much fucking money into your car insurance alone,
right?
And then you finally have an accident, they're like, whoa, you want money for this now? But how much money have I fucking given you?
Right.
So you can have your $1 million advertisements and everything else, you know? That's how they're paying for that shit.
Right. Yeah, it's, you know, that's the thing is,
it's crazy.
If you don't have insurance, you will be the one that gets in this bad accident and you'll have, you know, $350,000.
Oh yeah. I was rolling hot for a couple of years because I just can't afford it, man.
Right.
I'm living paycheck to paycheck. I can't afford it. And I'm scared shitless driving around without any car insurance, you know?
Right.
And I have it. I've had it for a while now, but during that time I was just scared because if anything happened, I mean, not only would I lose my car, but I'd be arrested.
Right.
You know,
You lose your license too, right? Can you lose your license?
I think so. You can probably get a lawyer and try and get like a work license or something.
But you don't even have money for insurance, let alone buying the lawyer.
Yeah.
You get a lawyer.
Yeah, let alone
insurance.
Let alone if you have a job to get to. Just work for
so now you lost your job.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, there's probably a ton of people that are like that out there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That are in that same...
They
A lot
get
of
accidents
people-
and they're like, woo! Later.
Right. Yeah.
I think that the big complaint with Obamacare or whatever the hell it's called is that it's just not affordable to people on the lower...
Affordable Health Care Act is not affordable.
Right.
I don't have insurance. I live paycheck to paycheck. Now, because I can't afford insurance, I'm going to get hit with a $600 fee. Like, tell me what the fuck sense does that make?
Yeah, and it just keeps going up, right? Every year.
Yeah, till it's $1,200 now.
Right. Right. Well, that's another, Bernie Sanders is pushing for minimum wage, anyone for $15.
$15 over a certain amount of time.
That anyone's work. And that makes sense. At first I was against this because I was thinking, okay, people at McDonald's or whatever starter jobs shouldn't get paid $15 an hour. But you got people in there that are working 40 hours plus. And the way he said it was, anyone that's working a 40-hour job, 40 hours a week, should be able to make a living off of
livable wage.
Livable wage off of 40. If you're working 40 hours a week, just like anyone else, you
There's
should
no
be able
reason.
to live off of that money.
There's no reason.
And you can't.
You should be working 2-3 jobs, you know? Or maybe be a full-time student and be working full-time, and still I'm living paycheck to paycheck, you know, and shit's rough.
Right.
And my job doesn't offer me health insurance, you know?
Right.
And what am I supposed to do? I can't afford the Affordable Health Care Act, you know? And I know a lot of people are happy because they can, and that's awesome. But for the people that can't, like, now you're gonna fine these people when they were like broke from the get-go.
Right.
It just really, it just doesn't make any sense to me. And it's not that everybody's gonna make $15 an hour. It's that people that are already making $15 an hour, they're not making enough either. They should go up. Like, the minimum wage should be $15 an hour. If you're making 15, you should go to 25 or whatever it is. Like, everybody is not being paid enough, and that's the point. This country has gotten away with that for a really long time.
That's why unions came around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's why now they're trying to crush them. What's up, Sam? What you got there?
Got some treats.
Oh! Look at that. How freaking wonderful.
Some are non-carb for you, John.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
You're welcome. You guys eating a treat?
I'm good. Might need a bottle opener for Edwin's beer.
Oh, yeah.
Bottle opener?
Yeah.
You guys want?
Good?
I'll take one.
Yeah, maybe I'll have one a little bit. I'm gonna try and get some coffee too.
John's rocking a hangover.
Hangover band
Oh.
threw up this morning 3
Oh,
times.
they're twists? I thought they were
Oh, yeah,
pop.
they are twists.
That should be back.
And I gotta do a lot of setting up. Today is Devil's Night.
Devil's Night.
Day before Halloween.
The
Oh,
Crow.
yeah. That's right.
Remember the Crow? They started all those fires for Devil's Night.
Oh,
Day
yeah.
before Halloween.
Yeah.
You gotta put
What a
out
good
these
movie.
fires. Yeah, I watch it and it's, oh man.
He doesn't hold up?
I don't think it did.
Really?
As well as I hoped it to.
I think the last time I watched it about 5 years ago.
You never
Oh,
watched
it's
it?
still okay.
Yeah.
They were twisted up.
Yeah.
Oh.
Thanks,
Yeah, I
You know
watched
they
it. I wish it did. I wish it did. You know that movie was gonna
Why,
make him a
why
fucking
doesn't it hold
superstar.
up? Is it the special effects?
Oh
that make it cheesy?
no. Special effects are awesome. I like the way they did that. Besides when he's dead, so they have to use fake him,
Yeah.
CGI style, which kind of looks hokey. But acting wise, things of that, it's just all.
Okay, alright.
It's like watching it and seeing The Godfather the first time, So you're seeing The Crow and you're like, wow, this movie's unbelievable. This is an instant classic, then fast forward 17 years and then watch it again and you're like, this is Sharknado.
Right.
Yeah,
but the quality of movies go up.
That's what makes them. That's what makes it so much harder.
Even like
for
if you
old
look
movies
at
to stay good.
a picture of you from even
Oh,
5
gosh,
years
yeah.
ago.
Right.
5 years ago, you're like,
Yeah.
yeah, what did I use? Like,
Yeah.
what did I have to set
Yeah.
this thing up for 2
Or
hours?
even if I think about stuff I said, younger me, if I could just go back in time and be like, you idiots,
Yeah.
like, what the fuck, shut your mouth already,
Well, what are
That's
movies
fine.
that have held up? Name a movie.
Oh,
that's held
Taxi
up.
Driver.
Oh yeah, that movie's good. Ain't that movie kind of slow? It's a good movie,
Yeah, I mean, you could see it that way. It's a lot of build up
right?
for the finale, but the finale's just so unbelievable, man. When he shoots that dude's hand and it just blows apart, and that he shoots that dude in the neck, or no, he gets shot in the neck.
Right.
Anyway, the movie's fucking awesome. The movie's fucking awesome. No, a lot of movies hold up, and you know what? I may have just been. You ever watch something, and for some reason, whatever it is, you watch a movie or you hear a song, and you're just not really into it. But then you can come back to it, and you're like, "What was I thinking? This is awesome."
Right.
It may have been one of those times. I haven't seen it in a long time. I was expecting something, and then I watched it, and I was being let down. But maybe that was just that particular mode I was in, or mood, or whatever. But because I watched Batman and Robin. When was the last time you watched that? There's a part in that
long
movie
time.
where literally Batman busts out a credit card.
No.
And he goes, I used a bat card and never leave home
Oh my
without it.
God, yeah.
First of all, where's that bill going to? Who's paying it? Because he's going to ruin his identity.
Right.
If it says Bruce Wayne, and if it goes to Batman, where the fuck's that going? Who's paying the bat card?
Movie's bad.
Maybe the police does. Goes to the police.
Yeah. Commissioner Gordon's like, fuck Batman, what the hell are you buying with this?
Yeah. 3 packs of Cheetos?
Yeah. Fucking Pall Malls? Yeah, Mr. Freeze alone, Arnold.
Yeah.
He's like, what killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age. It's like, no, it wasn't. It's not even right. You're teaching kids the wrong history.
Yeah, because kids are seeing that and like, oh, wow, yeah, that's what it is.
Mr. Freeze knows history.
Yeah. That movie's never been good. I don't think anyone's ever said that movie's awesome.
No. It was the first time when I was in the theaters that I was sitting watching a movie and I was becoming to that point where you're starting to mature.
Right.
And I was even at, that younger age seeing this is cheesy.
Right, not everything is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're 5 years old, 6 years old, going to a movie theater, everything is awesome.
Oh yeah, when I saw Batman Returns, it blew me away. It's probably still one of my favorite Batman movies.
Right.
And I think that movie pretty much holds up. I watched that recently.
Ninja Turtles. That doesn't hold up.
No?
Nah. Have you watched it?
Not in a long time.
I'm trying to make, I wasn't a huge fan of the new one, but then you watch the old one and it's like, it's even more cheesy and over the top.
I feel like the story was better though in the original. Because in the new one, the story was just like lacking. I felt like things were like forced together. Did you see the new Ninja Turtles?
I didn't know.
No?
I know the outfits, like they didn't.
And the old ones and the new ones? The new ones?
The new one, like the older ones look like more anime, like real round.
Right.
Yeah.
And these look like real turtles.
Yeah, the old ones like from the
They
cartoon.
were like 9 feet tall, turtles.
They were gigantic.
Yeah, nobody wants to.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to see a 9 foot.
That's why Shredder was fucking 9 feet tall with fucking
Yeah.
shooting out knives and shit
Yeah.
over the top. I don't know. I thought it was alright.
Well, they're making a sequel. We'll
Yeah.
see Bebop and Rocksteady.
Yeah.
Instead of, Razor and...
Toka.
Yeah,
Toka, Razor.
Toka and Razor.
Yeah. Hey, man, I wanted to ask you, when did you get into Jiu-Jitsu?
When did I was 21 when I got into it. I am 31 now, so 10 years ago.
Wow, a decade.
Yeah, it'll be almost 10 years.
What made you want to get into it? Just
You know what?
did you do any other martial arts before that?
When I was a kid, I did like some karate, taekwondo. I think how almost every kid does.
Right.
They get like 2 or 3 belts in, and they're like, I want to play soccer. So that's pretty much. I was the same route.
Yeah.
And then like one day, I just I was probably 20. So I started like watching the UFC. At that time, the UFC wasn't like real big, but it was starting to gain like popularity.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's when you can find UFC videos at like Blockbuster.
Yeah.
And shit.
Oh, yeah.
By
remember
Face
those
of
that
Death.
we got? Yeah.
Yeah.
We stayed up all night watching the matches.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what Hoist Gracie. That's
Oh,
what
yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
So like I was just flipping the channel one day and I saw like one of the shows, like one of the UFC events. So I started watching it and there was a guy there that was talking about jiu-jitsu and how it was something good to get into and it's a great workout and you'll learn how to
Break someone in half.
Choke
Right,
choke
yeah.
a motherfucker
So
out.
it's jujitsu or is it Brazilian jujitsu? Because like jujitsu is taken from judo, right? What samurais?
Yeah.
But judo was very deadly, so they kind of took it and spawned jujitsu, which
Right.
wasn't so violent, but also
Well,
you
it
could
was
grapple and take people down.
right. I don't want to say 100%, but jiu-jitsu is something that you can practice every day. Judo, kind of the old judo techniques can be very like, it's not something that if me and Will wanted to train judo together, if we were training like true judo, we would be like reaping each other's knees
Right.
and joints.
Yeah, totally.
And like, and jiu-jitsu is something where you can do this every day, and it's not a big like load. You're not cranking on people's,
Unless you're an asshole.
Unless you're, yeah,
Unless you're an asshole.
Yeah, unless you're an
Fucking hyperextending people's elbows.
yeah,
and shit.
unless you're hyperextending people's elbows, but it's a sport where you can go 100% and still go to work the next day.
Right.
That's
And
awesome.
so I just started like I started watching. I was like, oh yeah, this is kind of cool. And I was at a friend's party, and I ran into a guy who did jiu-jitsu, and somebody told me while I was there. He's like, oh, he does jiu-jitsu.
Then everybody parted and it was
Yeah.
just you two. And you're like, show me.
Yeah, they beat me up. But I later saw him at the same gym that I go to, and so that I approached him.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I went. And I
He's
went
like,
to
man, I'm
the
trying to
classes.
fucking run here.
Right. So
So,
that's kind of how it started. He's like, oh, I got classes on Fridays and Sundays, like show up.
Cool.
7 o'clock. Swing by. I'm like, okay. So yeah.
now the main idea behind judo is using the other person's momentum as a weapon against them, or is that
more of leverage and positioning, right?
Judo itself, yeah, I would say more lever. A lot of takedowns in judo.
Right.
There is like in sport judo. You know, I guess whenever I talk about it, I guess I would say sport judo, because a lot of these were, you know, judo and things like that were used for like self-defense.
Right. That's why I think the thing I watched on it was pretty much like using, like, say I throw a punch at you, I'm exerting all that force, then you can relax, go with it, and now you can just take their energy and use it against them.
Yeah.
And you're not even worn out from it because
Yeah.
they've just, you know, exhausted themselves.
Yeah,
by
it's a
doing
lot.
it.
That's a lot of the premise with both judo and jujutsu is, you know.
Like when samurais are being attacked and they come thrust in and they just,
Right.
you know, now you're done, you're toast.
Yeah.
So samurai.
I did one class with this guy, and he fucking destroyed me.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I remember. You were like, he was throwing me around.
I couldn't do anything.
You were like, it was really daunting. Like, I went in there, I was like, okay. He just tossed me around.
It puts you in your place, in a sense, where you walk in, you're like I've done taekwondo, and you fight with friends and whatever else, and you think, alright, I feel like, as a grown-ass man, I can hold my own. And then you go in there, and you feel like you're a 12-year-old child that just can't do nothing.
Yeah.
And it really, like, is humbling, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Kind of lets you know where you are in the rankings of, like,
grounding,
people that actually know how to
Or
fight.
sobering.
Yeah.
So that your ego strengthens.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
The first like 2 or 3 years that I did jujitsu, it was taught to me not from a sport jujitsu directive, like not from that angle. It was taught more as an MMA type, like boxing and like kickboxing and
so it's more
wrestling.
mixed martial arts.
Right, it was taught to me from that angle, and it is different because in jiu-jitsu you wear a gi, which is like a uniform, like in the standard like karate or taekwondo, they have their karate uniform. Well, this is a jiu-jitsu gi, and in sport jiu-jitsu, you use the gi, you can grab onto it.
Right.
You know, you can grab onto the sleeves and
You can choke them out with the gi.
Yeah,
totally.
use it to choke.
Okay, I've seen all that.
So in MMA, you're more in like shorts and a t-shirt, or you know, in a professional MMA, they're obviously just in t-shirt, or excuse me, just shorts, and no t-shirt. But it was taught. I was from that angle. I didn't own a gi for the first almost 2 years or so, and then I got the gi, and I really didn't like it because I didn't like how people could grab like a hold of me.
Yeah.
Instead of like grabbing my arm or having to grab like a limb, they could just grab this cloth, and it's a lot easier to hold on to the cloth than it is like trying to hold on to somebody's wrist. So I didn't really like it, and it took me like probably the course of a year to really like, okay, yeah, I'll put the gi on. All right, I'll put the gi on. I'll put the gi on. You know, and eventually, like I think when I first got started, I did have an intention. I was like, you know what, I want to try this, and maybe I'll do like an amateur fight and just see how it is. You know, like see, you know, just how it goes. And after about a year, and I started working with the gi and everything, I just kind of fell out of it, like the fighting aspect, and I started looking more into just the grappling, and I started focusing more on that. So, you know, when I first started, I was doing, you know, we were learning boxing and kickboxing and things like that, and you know, we would do rounds of stand-up and things like that. We did that for the first couple of years, but after, in that second year, I slowly started transitioning into, you know, I just like jiu-jitsu, you know, like punching other people and things like that. Really, I don't, it's not something you can train every day.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you can lightly, but you can go and train jiu-jitsu at 100% full intensity and not get hurt, as long as, you know, there's not any, you know, accidents, which happen in every sport. But
see, it's like I want to do jiu-jitsu. I would love to get in there. Maybe one day I will. But like I've always thought like MMA or training MMA would be fun too. But you know what? I'm not trying to get punched in the face at 31, 32 years old and going to work with black eyes or whatever. said, you can go 100% jiu-jitsu, great workout, and you get to learn so much. I mean, it's an awesome fucking sport.
Right.
Awesome sport. Love it.
Yeah. It's something I'll probably do until
forever, ain't
forever.
it? Right. Because there's no age limit on that
No,
shit.
no, not at all. Kind of funny, like Al Bundy.
Mm-hmm.
Al Bundy, he is a actor, is a jiu-jitsu black belt.
Sam O'Neill.
Ed O'Neill.
Ed O'Neill. Nice.
Ed O'Neill.
Ed O'Neill. He
Black
is
belt.
a jiu-jitsu black belt.
Wow.
Yeah.
You
No
know,
wonder he was
Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris.
Is he really?
Black belt.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
He was training like back in the late 80s, early 90s.
Okay.
There's a lot of like celebrities, not that that matters, but there's probably a lot of people out there that train it
And even getting into it at older ages too, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, it is something you can.
I tried doing it because I've got a bad knee,
Mhm.
so I got a DVD of like Tai Chi because I always wanted to I was interested in Tai Chi, especially the history of it and how it was started, and it was extremely boring.
Yeah.
It was extremely boring and very lame.
That's how.
And the video was literally like 5 senior citizens. And I was like, something's.
Yeah.
I don't think this is my age group.
I went to yoga class.
Yeah.
I went to yoga class, and afterwards I'm like, I am not relaxed at all. Like, this is dumb.
Dude, yoga's not relaxing.
No,
I
it's
don't-
not.
They say you're supposed to relax. I do some yoga from time to time, and I'm like straining and sweating, and it's like, dude, I'm not fucking relaxing during this. I'm not getting any kind of peace of mind while like my groin's being pulled in 2 different ways.
Yeah.
It's not happening.
Yeah, if I want to relax, I'll pull my own groin.
Good work, yeah. Whoa there. Whoa.
Yeah, I mean, you know, there's something for everybody out there to do. You know, something they'll like. You just gotta find
Pull
it.
your own groin.
Yeah, bro, that's it. That 4 or 5 times, I'll tell you a workout.
Fucking some kind of burning.
Yeah.
Chafing.
Especially dry.
Let's hit these buffoon goons up, man.
Okay.
Buffoon goon.
Da-da-da.
Buffoon goon.
Da-da-da. Goon.
Alright, man, I got this woman from North Webster, Indiana. Okay. She's 25 years old, and she was out hunting for waterfowl. And when she laid her
Is that a type of bird or
shotgun
something?
down, yeah, I don't know what the bird looks like. but it's-
Waterfowl?
I don't know, is it like a pheasant or something?
Waterfowl is just like a water
Quail
bird
or something?
Just a
Just
fowl
like
is
a-
bird, right?
Right, yeah.
Water.
Yeah, I think it's just birds that go to water. I don't even know.
Some kind of spirit bird she's out there. I don't know his name. I'm looking for
Spirit bird.
I'm looking for water birds.
So she's hunting these fucking birds, and she lays her fucking, her 12-gauge shotgun down, right?
Okay.
You saw her do
No,
that? Okay.
I already.
And her dog, named Trigger, stepped on the gun and point blank range blew her foot off.
So it was cocked. It was pumped.
It was a round and
Yeah, it was pumped.
And somehow the dog put his paw down on her and pulled the trigger and shot fucking point blank range her foot.
Bird shot.
Yeah, it's gotta be
Okay,
bird
so
shot.
she
It's
alright.
gotta be bird shot. It didn't it's not a slug.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So that's what I got.
Huh?
Dog named Trigger blows off owner's foot.
That's the one you got.
It wasn't one.
Okay.
I got the second one I got is a woman trying to fix her hot water heater. Okay. Removes the gas shutoff valve off the water heater for some reason. I don't know why you would do that. I have no clue why you take the gas shutoff valve off. Puts it back together, leaves it, fills the basement full of gas, and blows her fucking whole house up. Nobody was in the house, no one died, but blew her house to nothing.
Oh,
Insurance settlement?
Right, you never know.
Yeah.
I was just trying to fix my water heater by myself, trying to make ends meet.
I don't even know how so she must have taken the line or take the hot water heater out.
Right.
She didn't hook a new one up.
Had to have, right?
Right, yeah, that's
totally
what-
out.
yeah.
When she unscrewed the line on the other side of the
Leaving
shutoff
the
valve
gas on.
and left the gas on. And
She's out, she's driving to go get the new water heater, she comes back, house is gone.
In her rearview mirror, it's just like. That's so good.
yeah,
smoke.
Yeah.
You know how much gas would have to fill up that basement?
So
for
what
that
did
to
it?
happen?
The pilot light in the
It-
stove?
It's probably the furnace, more like that.
Oh, kick-
Because your furnace
yeah.
is typically right next to
Totally.
it.
Right.
Yup.
So it's kicked on, or just hit the pilot lights. Pilot lights are
Right,
typically
yeah.
always on.
Yeah.
But it's already got fill, right? Even though it's right next to it, the gas still has
Has
to
to
like,
fill.
up
You have
at
to
least
have-
that room.
You have to have a certain air to gas ratio
Oh, right,
to
right,
ignite by
right.
fire. So it would have to fill up to a certain point for that pilot light to actually ignite it,
Woo.
which would take a while.
Yeah. Well, once that
But
pilot
that's
light is
just-
on, I mean, the flame is burnt. The burner's running.
Right.
It's on. So you
Right.
got open flame right there,
Uh-huh.
and
Just wait
it's
for
just
the
a
gas
matter of
to
time.
come up.
Just gotta get gas to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blew her house up.
I had at one of my rentals, one of my tenants called me, and she said, I got a message. I got a problem here. Smells like gas bad. And my first thought was always like, why are you calling me? Like, call the power, the gas
NIPSCO,
company. Call
yeah.
NIPSCO, yeah. And so I called her back and I said, what's going on? And she says, it smells like gas bad, and I can hear it leaking.
You can hear it over the
You
phone.
can
You
hear
can hear it.
I could hear it over the phone, and she said she could hear it,
Oh, okay.
and I could hear it.
What?
Yes. And so I said, well, you need to hang up with me, call NIPSCO, I'm on my way over, leave the house.
Mm-hmm.
And the other tenant wasn't at home. So I said, okay, no animals in the house, blah, 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 everybody was out. So I get there, and there's basically a regulator. It's a gas pressure regulator outside that belongs to the power company.
Okay, yep.
And it's attached to the gas meter. It's this round piece that sits right next to the gas meter. And what that does is it regulates pressure that goes into your house. So if you got 100 pounds of pressure on the outside line, it hits that regulator, and the regulator may set it down to 15.
Right.
Well, if it, for some reason, if it gets 1,000 pounds of pressure coming in, that regulator has like a max, like a blow off, to where it'll open up and it just dumps all the gas outside. So the gas isn't rushed into your house.
Yeah.
So it's like a safety valve. Well, that safety valve broke inside the regulator, and so it was full pressure gas just coming out.
What?
Wow.
It was outside of the house, but it's right next to the house.
Right.
You know, if this is the house wall, your gas meter's
Yeah.
right next to it.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
So
so when I pulled
flicks
up,
your
I
cigarette let out.
right.
Doesn't
When I
smoke.
pulled up, I could hear it. You know, it was like,
Yeah.
you know, and I'm 30 feet from the house. And I said, she was at the, I told her, I said, just leave, just go to the gas station. You
Get
know, miles
down.
Yeah.
To the top of.
Yeah.
Running, diving.
I have like scars all over me. Like nothing happened. But yeah, so a NIPSCO came out, and you know, he walked up, and he was like, he shut the gas off, walked up, and was like, hey, I'll be honest with you, I was scared when I got here. I can't believe you were here. You know what's funny is like the cable. There's a cable like Comcast company
Yeah.
working right next to the house, and I was like, hey, there's a gas leak here. Like, he's like, I just got 2 more wires to connect.
Oh my god.
All right, man,
His last and final words ever spoke.
Yeah.
I got 2 more wires.
Just looks like the
Yeah.
laboratory of
It's-
Dr. Frankenstein. He's like, just a couple more.
Yeah, he was like 50, 75 feet away, but you could smell the gas from there. You know?
Wow.
It's bad when you're outside, not in an enclosed area, and you can smell
Right.
natural
You're
gas.
getting all loopy from
yeah,
it.
there's a problem. You know?
That dude was probably up there getting all loopy.
Right.
He's like, yeah.
Best day of work ever.
You tell me nothing I didn't know. Don't shut that gas off yet. Okay,
That's
so
a fucked up story.
I got
man.
one here.
Yeah.
Luis Martinez broke into a home in Highland, Indiana. A woman was relaxing on the couch and heard her doorknob move.
Okay.
Next thing she heard was a big bang. He came in with a gun pointed at her. He ended up just leaving. He was a little panicked.
Came in, showed the gun to her,
Mhm.
and then was like, fuck
Panicked.
this.
He got the hell out of there. While doing so, left his phone behind. His mom calls on the phone, so the resident picks it up. She's like, I'm looking for Luis, and she's like, oh, I am too. He just robbed my place. And she hung up. The mom hung up. The cops show up, trace the call, totally bust this guy. Got him for 2 counts of burglary and that's pretty much the end of that.
Mm.
Now, I've been in my apartment once. These were little kids, you know, like
Right.
little hostile kids.
Hostile.
I call them. You've seen the movie Hostel?
Oh,
Okay,
man.
there's like a gang of little kids that are just insanely like intimidating, you know,
For whatever reason.
and they're always they're a big group of them.
There's like 30 of them.
And they're vicious.
20 of them.
And in the movie, they're always like, bubble gum, you know, and you give them candy or bubble gum, they
Leave
leave
you
you alone.
alone.
But they're always like, bubble gum. And so these kids that run around at Barrington Bridge apartments too, all them kids, I call them hostile kids because there's a big group of them that fucking intimidate you and shit. But same thing where I live now in Normandy, and I was sitting on my couch and my doorknob moves. It was just the kids
Playing.
you know, doing it. But I can only imagine being late at night and you're sitting at home and all of a sudden you hear your doorknob moving and you know you live alone.
Yeah.
What the hell is happening? And then after that to hear a big bang, and that is somebody kicking in your door.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, being by yourself at home, for me, the worst two places I could be if somebody were to come out is sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, it's a minute 2 a.m.,
Right.
you're sleeping, and all of a sudden, things are happening.
Yeah,
know?
you're totally disoriented.
Yeah, you're disoriented, you don't know what's going on, you don't remember going to sleep.
Yeah.
You know, like, you don't know where you're at probably for a few seconds, like, what's going on? Is this a dream or am I awake right now?
Morning wood.
Right.
Fight it intruder.
So, you know, so somebody's running through your house at the same time. And then for me, being in the shower.
Oh, yeah.
You know, being in the shower.
Naked.
Yeah, like we talked to you about before, that being naked, period. I mean, you're so vulnerable.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last week, we had a buffoon dude down there that robbed the dude's house, then got naked, got into the couple's bed, kissed the dude, and then went on top of him with a knife.
Yeah.
And the dude knocked him off of him,
Woke up and knocked him off of him.
got his gun, and then chased him down the road.
They end up catching
Fucked
that
up.
guy, or-
Yeah, they caught him in an adjacent abandoned house or something like that.
Yeah.
Fucked up. All right, man. My choice is that your guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Out of yours?
Yeah, the one with the cell phone.
One with the cell phone?
Yeah, I think the guy.
What do you think?
Cell phone wins.
Well, let's do the cell phone.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So, buffoon goon of the week is Luis A. Martinez.
You're out there now, buddy.
Yeah.
Busted.
You're busted.
Well, you're in jail now, so.
Your mama was checking up on you. And if you're gonna go all the way, you might as well rob this person.
Dude, just don't do it. Obviously, he doesn't have the balls. And good for him, because that's just fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, because you
But-
end up killing somebody.
But don't do something. It's like robbing a gas station for like, what do they got to register, $100 or something like that? You're going to go to jail for at least 10, 15 years.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to put your life on the line like that for fucking a couple $100? It's fucking stupid.
Yeah. Criminals aren't smart.
No. But they're desperate. And that's the whole thing. That's what makes it
True.
And that's the whole thing, the argument with the war on drugs, too, is that these people are usually desperate, these criminals, because they need their fix, they need their drug. Now, if we can somehow accommodate that and control that, then maybe... Did you know crime's actually gone down?
Yes.
Crime is so low right now that they said that if there wasn't Detroit or Chicago, and that's because of their economic difficulties right now,
Right.
to where you have a lot of violence there, not much opportunity, debt, whatever else, you know. But if you took those cities away, there'd literally be almost no violence or crime
Be very low.
in this country. And that's, but you watch the news or whatever else, and you wouldn't think that.
Because they just, every time there is something, they put it out there. You know what I mean?
It's so low with crime now that now we're constantly focused on police. And we're like, okay, you guys.
Which brings us up to a couple things in the news.
Yeah, there's
You want to talk about the high school first?
Yeah, because
Do you see what's going on at that cop at the high school that told that
Oh,
kid
South
at the desk?
Carolina,
Yeah,
female student.
Right.
So Spring Valley High School officer got called to the scene, right? Because this girl would not put away her phone.
Put
teacher-
away her phone and then was asked to leave.
The teacher asked her to put away the phone. She
Right.
wouldn't do it. Then the principal or vice principal, something, came out and said, "Come to my office." She said, "No, I'm not going nowhere." They called the officer at the school. The officer came in, asked her to come with him. She refused, and then she went after her. He went after her, knocked her. You saw the video, Edwin?
Yeah.
Knocked her down, and then like fucking just ripped her out of that chair, and she
Threw
like
her ass.
rolled,
Yeah.
and then he jumped on top of her and detained her and shit.
Right.
Now you hear this cop got fired?
Yeah.
I did.
He is fired.
He is fired.
For excessive. That's excessive, right?
The problem is, and I don't know why I let my Facebook friends get me so worked up about shit because, they put, okay, first of all, there was a person arguing that